But I ask you this,
Yeah,
right? This is a danger to our society, treating our own people this way, whether they're citizens or not.
absolutely.
This is not what we stand for.
Yeah.
And so when you think about something like cigarettes, the Surgeon General warning and the graphics that they put on there and the text they put on there to warn you.
Abroad, we don't do that. We don't do that here, right?
I mean, they certainly put you shouldn't smoke this if you're
Yeah,
pregnant or
but they don't
whatever
put
have
like
you.
they don't put like the open throat, like cancerous throats, and like that kind of imagery in American cigarettes.
I
Right?
don't think maybe
they
not
fight
that
that.
here, maybe not that here, but
Yeah,
they put stuff even with other
they put a
hazardous
couple of
materials. They
stuff.
put
They put
the,
hazard stuff, but it's not
the
it's nothing.
hazard symbology and
Yeah, yeah.
all that stuff. But I guess my point here is, if that is on there, then whether it's meat or cigarettes or what have you, kind of different agricultural products, should we have a label on there that says child labor used? Would you eat that? Would you buy that? Would you smoke that if you knew
Subversive.
that children put that on your plate?
It's a subversive. It's a subversive angle. I applaud you. I think that's quite. Is that in the article at all, or that's
No,
you're coming up with?
I'm asking.
I like it. There are ways to combat without going, headlong into the fray. I kind of like it. That's kind of cool. I don't know. I don't know if it'll have the intended effect. I don't know how long that would take. It might take quite some time, but
Well, it's competition, right? It's almost like now, as bad as this is, because it's a bad example because the certifications are so corrupt because they're in the middle of the ocean and you cannot inspect. That is different than inspecting in a field. But when you have things like dolphin safe tuna or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like that's not really enforceable when you start digging into it. So that label in itself, while it makes you feel good and you will pick the product with it versus the one next to it that might not have it,
yeah,
you really don't know what you're getting.
yeah.
But this is different because this is very much on land. You can very much now people could get paid off and bought maybe, but if this is more of a government initiative,
unfortunately, corporations are really good at circumventing that kind of legislation. I think it's very clever and I think it's good. I could just see everyone basically starts going through a third party so that they get hit with the label, and then because they then move on the goods, it gets whitewashed.
Well, I'm thinking less dolphin free because that is a third party and that is a corrupt organization, and more like Energy Star, which is very much government and very much you need to abide.
Okay.
So it would have to be a government certification where they are going out there. They're not going to be bribed, hopefully. I mean, humans are humans, but I think it would have a better shot. And if you saw a bunch of whatever your product here is and this product here, one's like child labor used.
I mean, part of me is also thinking about the addictive nature of cigarettes. I'm trying to think if you've got all these other warnings that say please don't smoke cigarettes, and then you add one more label that says child labor used. I wonder. I mean, it's. I feel like
can't do it for yourself. Do it for the kids.
I wish we had a smoker on to be like, would that matter? But yeah, let's see. I mean, yeah, it would be cool. I think that's the kind of creative thinking that is needed in order to upend a lot of this draconianism. Is you need to be subversive, and that's very subversive. I like it. It's worth a shot. What do you have to lose? Because the kids are going to be working this field. If you don't do the labels, the kids are working the fields. If you do the labels and the kids are working the fields, at least we have a foothold. Now we've got something to point to. You've something you could bring it. I could shake a cigarette pack so the listeners could hear on the pod being like, "This is a cigarette pack that's made with children." It's like to shake it vigorously into the microphone. At least there's stuff like that. We could start to Looney Tune about in this crusade. But yeah, we got to do something. You got to start somewhere. And right now we're nowhere. We're just reports. People just bringing it up every so often.